WiseGuyBets here with some DFS picks for tonight. Today is 11/29/2021. We have 9 games on the DFS main slate. I'm going to give you 5 value picks, 2 from guard, 2 from forward, 1 from center. These are the 5 picks that I've chosen. They're not all my value picks. You can get those down below in Patreon. The link to Patreon is down below in my description. But these are 5 picks at each position, and we're going to get right into it. And we're going to go to the Washington versus Sacramento Spurs game. And we're going to choose Derek White from San Antonio. He's 5,900 on DraftKings. His projection for the night is 32. Washington is 27th versus the point guard position. His last 3, he's had 44, 21, 38. You see his minutes are kind of up and down, and with Pop, you kind of got to deal with that. Sometimes the minutes are right, sometimes the minutes are wrong. Doesn't make any sense at all. But White is in a perfect position tonight. If he gives us 32 off his salary at 5,900, I'll take that any day. His production against Washington is not as good as I like. He's had 16, 14, and 31 fantasy points in his last 3 games against Washington. But I like him in this position tonight. San Antonio's at home. If he gets his minutes, I think he comes through with the projection of 32. Let's go to the shooting guard position. And for the shooting guard position, we're going to go to the OKC versus Houston game. And we're going to select, hope I pronounce his name correctly, Lukas Dort. He's 5,400 on DraftKings. His projection for the night is 28. Houston is 22nd against the shooting guard position. Let's look at his last 3. Dort's last 3 has been 32, 38, 23. His minutes has been up in his last 2 games, 36 and 37. Let's hope we get on more than 35 minutes tonight from him. Should be a close game, should be a very competitive game, should be a high-scoring game, which is only going to benefit him. In his last 2 against Houston, he's had 21 and 36. So potential's there. I like him in his position. I like it being a high-paced game. Both 2 young teams, we're just going to get up and down the court. So I like Dort in his position tonight at the shooting guard position. Let's look at the small forward position. And for small forward, we're going to go to the Utah versus Portland game. Portland is at Utah. And we're going to go with Bogdanovic for Utah. He's 5,200 on DraftKings. His projection for the night is 28. His Portland is 20th against the small forward position. His last 3 versus Portland has been 15, 20, and 26. His last 3 overall has been 17, 32, 28. His projection of 28. He get us more than 25. I'm pretty much happy with him. On his $5,200 salary. And I think he can get us closer to around the 30-point mark tonight in home against Portland. So Bojan Bogdanovic is someone I'm looking to get in my lineup, in some of my lineups at the small forward position. Let's go to power forward. For power forward, we're going to go to the Indiana versus Minnesota game. As you know, Minnesota is pretty bad on defense, and you can probably find some value at every position on the other team against Minnesota. But for this game, I'm going to go with Sabonis. Sabonis is 8,400 on DraftKings. His projection for tonight is 45, and Minnesota's 23rd versus the power forward position. Here's what I really like. His last 3 against Minnesota, he had 82 fantasy points in his last game against Minnesota. He had a 20 in there before that, and he had a 58 the game prior to that. So he likes playing against Minnesota. And again, Minnesota is not very good on defense. I don't understand. They got a team full of superstars, and they just don't do any concerted effort on the defensive end. Let's look at Sabonis' last 3 games. His last 3 has been 22, 48, 41. If we look at his last 5, it's been 42 and 47. So he did have a down game in his last game, but he only played 22 minutes. So if he gets his minutes, he's going to get us 40 fantasy points, and I think he will get more around closer to his projection of 45. So Sabonis is someone I'm looking to get into some of my lineups tonight at the power forward position. Let's go to the center position, and we're going to go to the Charlotte versus Chicago game. And we're going to take Vucevic for Chicago. He's 8,300 on DraftKings. His projection for tonight is 47. Charlotte is 18th versus the center position. The game is in Charlotte. We look at his last 5 against Charlotte. He's had 61, 48, 58, 45, 39. For me, Vucevic is possibly a lock in all of my lineups. The numbers say he should show out tonight. Let's look at his last 3. His last 3 are 34, 32, 41. If we even look at his last 5, 39 and 44. He gets around 30 minutes a game. Some games a little bit over, but he's averaging around 30 minutes per game. I like Nikola Vucevic in this position tonight with a projection of 47 on a salary of 8,300. So let's do a brief little recap here. At the point guard position, I like Derek White. At the shooting guard position, I like Dort in a potentially very high-scoring game between Oklahoma City and Houston. I like Bogdanovic in the Portland-Utah game. Utah's at home. Utah and Portland is 20th versus the small forward position. I like Sabonis against Minnesota. I mean, he could really go off tonight. We may see a 60 spot from him tonight, possibly. If not, I can see him definitely getting into the 50s against a Minnesota team that just doesn't play defense. And I also like the Chicago center, Vucevic, against Charlotte. The game is in Chicago. I may have said it was in Charlotte earlier, but the game is in Chicago. He's went off recently against them, and it's just in his last 3 against Charlotte. He's had 61, 48, and 58 fantasy points. Again, he could be a lock in most of my lineups tonight. So that's all the picks I have. Hey, if my picks help you, go ahead and hit that like button. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel and say something in the comments so we can chat it up a little bit about what's going on in tonight's lineup. So again, that's all I have. Until the next video, peace.